What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a new bike review from one of your favorite brands, Eride Pro. This is the brand new Eride Pro SS 3.0. Right now this bike is available for pre-order and this is a pre-production model. We will have a real production model very soon, but in today's video this is a prototype, so please remember that. If you guys aren't familiar with Eride Pro, they entered the scene a little over a year ago with the 1.0 version. We had that on the channel, did an awesome review of it, and we're extremely impressed. After that, they released the 2.0, which had some minor upgrades and changes, nothing drastic, but enough to make a difference. Now we have the 3.0 right here, which promises a lot of big changes. So we're super excited to get this bike unboxed and get it reviewed. Today in this video, we're going to be weighing the bike, doing drag races, doing trail rides, talking about the specs, talking about the range, and comparing it to a bunch of other e-moto models. If you guys are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the video. Well, this bike's not going to build itself. Let's get started. Alright you guys, time for a top speed test. I genuinely have not floored this bike yet, so here we go. Well, the fastest we saw on the display was 59 miles an hour. Let's check our GPS. I haven't looked at it yet. Here we go. 56.8 miles an hour. That is slower than I expected, but this is a pre-production bike, so that probably has something to do with it. It's also like 35 degrees right now. It's cold, our battery is cold, and that also has an effect. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm excited to test our production bike in a couple of weeks. They claim a top speed of 62, so we're not that far off, and the cold does play a role. Well guys, there you have it, the brand new Eride Pro SS 3.0. During that montage, did you guys notice anything cool and exciting? Well, we're gonna dive into those specs right now. Starting off big in these specs, we are packing 16 kilowatts of power now, up from 12. And we are rocking a 72 volt 50 amp hour battery up from a 72 volt 40 amp hour battery. So that is 25% more capacity, and I would expect 25% more range. Unless you're using the added power that this bike comes with, then you're gonna drain your battery faster. But we're excited to do a range test on this bike in the future, so stay tuned for that. Other things that I have noticed that are big differences are upgraded front forks. These are now a Fastace front fork, which is a big difference because that was one of the things I really disliked about the previous Eride models is the suspension. The front fork just blew out way too easily. We had way too many problems with it. So I'm very glad to see more of a name brand like Fastace on this bike. The other big difference is the brakes. You guys can tell that these are larger DOT rated brakes. We'll find out how good these new brakes are later on our trail ride. Moving on to more things. Now I have noticed that when you select the headlight on or off button, it also turns off the tail light. And now the tail light is built into the back right here, so that's super sleek and nice. Also, another difference is the tires. Now, you guys probably know that one of the most popular tires is the Shinko 241 for these bikes. This is a very similar tire to that, so we're excited to see that because for the majority of people, this is going to be a fantastic tire. Another big change I've noticed is the foot pegs. They have a way wider platform that is going to be a drastic improvement. We also have a 58 tooth rear sprocket and a 428 size chain. This is the same size chain as the new Talaria Sting MX5, which I love because it's going to be more stretch resistant and stronger for the added power that this bike comes with. Guys, we're out on our ride, which we'll see later, but I forgot to tell you one important spec. 3.0 now comes with an 18-inch rear wheel, which we'll talk more about later because it's kind of a love-hate situation. Apart from those changes that I mentioned, this bike pretty much looks exactly like an Eride Pro SS 1.0 or 2.0. Quick interruption to say that at the end of the video, there's going to be a huge announcement, so you guys need to stay tuned for that. And if you're enjoying this bike and you want to purchase one, check the link down in the video description. All right, back to the video. It's time to weigh this bike, but we're going to Home Depot to get a 2x4 to mount our scale on the ceiling. Reed, what are you riding?
This pile of junk.
Hey, that's my rocket ship Surron. What are you riding, Romney?
This guy, sick guy.
No, you're not. You are riding that.
Oh, dang it.
New guy gets the coolest bike. Mark, you can stay here. Here we go. I wonder how this 3.0 stacks up to my Surron over there. Holy. Don't toast my brake, please. We got our goods. 2 eye bolts. We're gonna hang them from the ceiling. 1 kilowatt, 16 kilowatts, 30 kilowatts. Reed hopped on the 3.0 for the first time. All right, Reed, how is it?
This bike is really good. Can't believe you can get this out of the box now. There's only one thing wrong with it so far that I felt is the throttle in sport is really jumpy, and beginner's gonna hop on this and wheelie over backwards 10 times out of 10.
Okay, so that, yeah. These bikes are getting to be no joke. They have enough power that you can really get hurt if you don't know what you're doing.
And it's 3 modes like a Talaria. That sport it's got a lot of power.
Zero, zero, we're weighing the battery first. We're at 39.6 pounds.
It's almost strap weights. Nothing.
123.6.
I will say, that is less than they quote online. They said it was 167, so I'm pleasantly surprised. That's
Well,
lighter than an MX5.
And that's with the straps.
I did wear out the tire a little bit on the way home.
Okay guys, it is time for a drag race. We got a fully charged 3.0 here and a fully charged MX5 that is totally stock. Mark is our drag racer today. He's a little bit heavier than me by about 25 pounds. So that bike does have a slight disadvantage, but we're gonna see how it goes. As you guys know, this bike has 16 kilowatts and that bike has 13.4. So he's already at a disadvantage with the weight and the power, but this is kind of this bike's closest competitor. It's very close in price and as close in power as we can get.
3, 2, 1, go!
Man, I was riding a wheelie for so long. Woo! Well guys, this bike is so fast. That's a bigger difference than I was expecting. Now, the one thing I have to say, the throttle is really jumpy in sport. I know Reed already mentioned that earlier in the video. It is all or nothing, and it's got quite a bit of a deadband. Now this is a pre-production bike, so I would imagine that has totally been changed. Just something I'm feeling right now when I ride it is it has a lot of power. That's why I was really wheeling for a long time trying to launch this bike, but it absolutely smokes an MX5.
Yeah, a little bit of extra weight regardless, a little bit better launch. That thing is quick. It cooked this thing.
Yeah, Eride didn't stay below Talaria for long, did it? All right, guys, it is time for a proper trail ride on the 3.0. And spoiler alert, I'm quite impressed so far. But we're gonna hop on this dirt road here and really give it a good push. We're gonna put it through its paces. But let's talk about its predecessors really quick. Because if you guys are new to Eride Pro, they have the 1.0, then the 2.0, and now the 3.0. All of them are very close in price. The 1.0, you know, was $4,900, $4,999 kind of a deal. So was the 2.0. As is the 3.0 now, the same price, and they really made a big difference to this 3.0 for the same price, which is amazing how quickly Eride Pro is innovating and keeping the prices realistic and similar to where they were before. All right, I gotta say, this thing is fast. We're doing 50 miles an hour right there. I just looked down, glanced down for 1 second. If you guys have been following this channel for a while, you'll know we really liked the Eride Pro when it came out. And it really was a good bike. And then the MX5 came out, and in our opinions, that bike kind of stomped on the 2.0. It had the same size battery, but it had a good chunk more power. It had better brakes, better suspension. I kind of felt like it just felt more robust feeling. So fast forward to a couple months later, Eride just dumps out the 3.0 and basically improves on all the things the 2.0 lacked that the MX5 had it beat. Things such as these brakes. These things are fantastic. I wasn't super sure on them when I first got them out of the box. They were a little bit like flat, but they pumped up. Now they feel good. They have lots of power, lots of modulation. They're just as good as the MX5 brakes, if not better. And you guys know we and everybody else just rave about the MX5 brakes. Let's talk more about this throttle. Now, I don't know if they have changed it on the production bike compared to this one. I know I said it was jumpy in the drag race, as did Reed, and I think it is really low down, but once you're actually riding the bike and once you're pushing it hard like I am now, I don't mind it one bit. I don't think it's a bad throttle. So I still agree with what I said, because it's just a different context of riding. This bike, if you were to put a beginner on it and they were in sport mode, they absolutely would wheelie over backwards. Like 10 out of 10 times they are looping your bike. So if you're buying one of these, do not let people that are beginners ride it. Even people that are used to gas bikes, they are going to wheelie this over backwards. Okay, we're going back this way. Let's talk about the suspension, because that was the other one thing that was my biggest letdown with the 2.0 bike, is the forks would always blow out. I've blown out 3 of them. Well, after only a couple hundred miles, one of them was even less than that. This bike now has Fastace suspension, which you've probably heard of before if you're following e-motos at all. It's still a Chinese suspension, but it is so much better than what Eride was using previous to this point, and you can feel it. This bike actually feels good. The suspension feels nice. It feels supportive yet plush at the same time. I've heard a couple other reviewers talk about that, how, you know, sometimes with the Chinese suspension, it's hard to get both. If you want plush, it means your suspension is just plush and you're gonna bottom it out easy. Or you get suspension that's stiff and it can handle the jumps and the big hits. I think this is some of both. I think they did a great job with it. And especially for the price point. You know, this suspension's not EXT. I don't think it's as good as our Flosa that we sell on our website. That's gonna be my next pick for upgraded suspension behind EXT. But this stuff is not bad. I no longer feel like you have to immediately go and upgrade the suspension on your Eride Pro. They solved it for you. Honestly, just huge kudos to Eride for continually pushing the bubble. I think we make it very clear in these videos how unbiased we are and how we're just always going to be as honest as we possibly can be in a video. I mean, full stop. Recently we had a company pushing really hard to have the video we filmed for them taken down because it wasn't as positive as they wanted it to be. And we are not taking that video down. We don't do that. You know, if a company's product is a good product, it's gonna get a good review. And if it's not, it's not. So with that being said, nice job, Eride. This bike is now kind of the whole package for $5,000. And now I'm real excited to try the Eride Pro SR. But I want to make a disclaimer. If you guys don't know what that bike is, it's a slightly bigger, more powerful version of this bike. And I don't mean slightly more powerful, I mean way more powerful. That bike is no joke. That is not gonna be for beginners. That bike is gonna be scary, because I already think this bike is not for beginners. This industry is not the same as it used to be, where you could just pick up any bike, let all your friends ride it, and it only had 6 kilowatts of power. Now we got 16 on this bike. And we got 25 coming on the SR. Absolutely insane. And as always, we have more videos coming on this bike. So you guys drop a comment, let us know what you want to see filmed with it. But we'll for sure be doing a range test. So stay tuned for that, because this bike does have a significantly larger battery than its predecessor, the 2.0, and really any of its direct competitors. This really is a sizable battery, which I'm super stoked about, because who doesn't want to ride longer? This thing can sure pop the front wheel up easy when you're ripping the trails, because of the throttle and the power. Just makes it really fun and playful. Yes, the bike is heavier at 163 pounds. I don't think it really feels like it. I'm even pleasantly surprised with these tires. They are actually riding better than I expected and have more grip than I expected. Well, I'm having a blast riding this bike, you guys. I'll meet you back in the garage and we'll do a quick recap on just a couple more things I need to mention. Well guys, the first video with the prototype 3.0 is about to come to an end. However, there is going to be more videos on this bike, because we're very pleasantly surprised. All these changes and upgrades that they have made make a massive difference when you're actually riding the bike. So I'm excited to continue riding, continue filming with it, and do a range test in the future. Now, the next item of business is, if you guys have been following our channel, you'll know that we recently gave away a Talaria Sting MX5 in October. Cool. We were super overwhelmed with all of you guys' support in entering that giveaway and supporting it. Now, we need to announce another giveaway. So, January 1st will be the first day to enter, and you can enter to win a brand new Eride Pro SS 3.0. It'll be a production bike, ready to go, and it'll get shipped to your doorstep if you win. So, subscribe right now, because on that first day, January 1st, there's going to be massive bonus points for anybody who enters. So all you loyal fans and subscribers, we appreciate you. You're going to want to enter on January 1st. I can promise you that. If you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button, and there is more to come. See you later.